So we will try to enter into the class by appreciating this beautiful verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 3, verse 17. Ayurharati vaikumsam udyan astam chayanasau tasyate yakshano nita uttama shloka vakaya. Translation. Both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life for everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all-good personality of body. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we will just read the first two sentences. This verse indirectly confirms the greater importance of utilizing the human form of life to realize our lost relationship with the Supreme Lord by acceleration of devotional service. Time and time wait for no man. Okay. So the time indicated by the sunrise and the sunset will be uselessly wasted if such time is not properly utilized for realizing identification of spiritual values. So if you have seen the poster today, the poster spoke about the word accelerate, your devotional service. So I have derived that caption from this particular word, from this purport. Yeah. So acceleration of devotional service. What is acceleration? So all of your BTech students, you know what acceleration is, right? So this Chaturmasya period is very, very potent. Yeah. Today, being this auspicious day of Shayana Ekadashi, marks the beginning of the Chaturmasya period. Some Vaishnavas also observe it from the full moon to full moon. Yeah, the full moon of the Shravan Mas to the full moon of the Kartik Mas is observed as the Chaturmasya period. Also, some of the devotees observe it from Ekadashi. Yeah, the Shayana Ekadashi. Today is a Shayana Ekadashi. And there's another Ekadashi called Utthana Ekadashi that comes in the Kartik, towards the end of Kartik. So these 4 months are also observed as the Chaturmasya period. So they are very, very potent time span where intelligent people invest actively into their spiritual life, with the understanding about what is really worth investing your time into. As we have just read in the previous verse, that with every rising and setting of the sun, we are moving one step closer to death. Yeah. And this is applicable to those who do not glorify the Supreme Lord. Yeah. But for those who are pure devotees of the Supreme Lord, with every rising and setting of the sun, we are moving one step closer to the ever blissful spiritual life, which is eternal and which is totally blissful. Yeah, this is the difference between how time works in the life of a devotee and a non-devotee. Very, very important. So all of us every day, we find it very difficult to fit into time management, right? Time management is a necessary evil. Yeah, we make a timetable. We say, okay, 9 o'clock, I have to get ready and I have to start off to my college or my institute. Yeah. And then it's 12 o'clock, time for lunch. And then by the time you finish lunch, then, there's another task waiting for you. Yeah. So you're bound by time. This is material life. Yeah. But why do we feel not so at ease with the time? Because originally the soul belongs to the spiritual realm where time is absent. Yeah. Eternal means time is absent. There is no time. So originally the soul belongs to the spiritual realm where time is present by its absence. Yeah. But when the same soul is bound in this body, and is living in the material world, we are subjected to the effects of time. Mrityu sarva harascha, udbhavascha bhavishyata. Yeah. Lord Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, the time I am, destroyer of everything. Time destroys everything. Just like how small children, they go to a beach and they prepare the beautiful castle of sand. Yeah. And they build and they feel so happy that, we have constructed something very tangible. Yeah. But within no time, what happens? Tide comes and sweeps away everything. Nothing is existing anymore. So is it. The time actually comes like a wave, especially death. Yeah. As sure as death, it is said. So death comes, and all the plans that we've been making about our, how we are going to live, how, all the beautiful dreams that we have about how we want to lead our life. So death is something that can come and just destroy all these dreams, just like, the wave comes and destroys this castle of sand. Very, very imperceptible the way time works in our lives. It's very subtle. Yeah, how time flies. We say time flies, right? We don't realize. Sometimes, we see somebody as a small child. And, after a few years when you see, it's like, oh, you've already grown up so much. We say that, right? Oh, you're already in your second standard. You're already in your third grade. Yeah, we don't realize time flies. But we don't realize it. We don't realize it. That is the way time works. I'll give you a small example how time works. So once there was a king, and he had a minister. And this minister wanted to show how time works. So he brought a big bowl of milk. And he showed the king, do you see this pot of milk? He said, yes, I do. He said, okay, then come back after some time. So the king left and he came back after some time. But again, the minister showed the pot of milk and asked, do you see this milk? He said, yes. So is it the same as before? He said, yes, I'm seeing the same pot of milk. Then the minister said, no, it is not the same as before. I have removed 2 spoons of milk from this pot of milk. But the king could not perceive it. This is exactly how time works. Yeah. We don't realize how it, the time is passing away, how it is affecting our lives, how it is, bringing us closer and closer to the state of, where we have to leave this body. We don't understand. And that's what Yudhishthira Maharaj says. That's the biggest wonder of this whole world. When Yaksha asked this question to Yudhishthira Maharaj, what is the biggest wonder of this world? Yudhishthira Maharaj says, ahani ahani bhutani gacchanti yamalaya. Yeah. Then sesham sthavara vichanti kimascharya matah. Yeah. So in this world, everybody gacchanti yamalaya. Everybody is going to the Yamalaya, that is the abode of death. But the remaining set of people, somehow they sthavara vichanti. They want to make their own permanent places. This is the most astonishing thing of this whole world. We see people around us dying. Yeah, especially for medical practitioners, it's an everyday thing, how they see disease and death. It's happening around us. But somehow we think it won't happen to us. Or somehow we are not conscious that, I have to face the similar day. And this is the astonishing part of this entire world. This is what Yudhishthira Maharaj answered Yaksha. And Yaksha was very happy. Yes, that was true. This is the most astonishing thing of this world. And this we don't realize how imperceptibly, time is taking away our Ayu. Yeah. Ayur Harati Vai Pumsam. That is the verse that's talking about. Ayur Harati Vai Pumsam. Udyan Astam, with every rising and setting of the sun, our lifespan is decreasing by 1 day, isn't it? Today morning, there was a sunrise and then there was sunset as well. Yeah. So 1 day has passed. That means it is minus 1 day from my lifespan. How much are we conscious of this? Yes. So a devotee is somebody who is conscious of this reality. Yeah. A devotee is conscious of time in order to enter into the timeless zone. Yeah. A devotee is somebody who's conscious of time in order to enter into the timeless zone. So these are some of the excerpts actually I have heard in today's Srimad Bhagavatam class by Inspired by Braj Mohan Prabhu. It's very wonderful class, very inspiring. So this is how time works. Yeah, it is beyond our perception. It works very subtly. And devotees, especially, as I said, it is unnatural for the soul to be bound by time. That is why we find it very difficult to actually manage time. Yeah, always it's a pressure, right? Anything that you want to do that is bound by time, it's a pressure. It's a source of stress, or there is subtly, for example, if you have a deadline, yeah, one of the factors, unless there is deadline, you don't work for it. But the deadline is a pressure. Why? Because that kind of a time-bound experience is foreign to the soul. The soul experience is that of eternity. Only in material world, there is time. Time that makes you work. Time that becomes a taskmaster, makes you do. Yeah, but spiritual world is free from time. So a devotee who is actually glorifying the Supreme Lord, Uttama Shloka, yeah, who spends his time in singing the glories of the Lord, whose consciousness is absorbed in serving the Lord, for him, time does not affect. Time is no longer the taskmaster. Time becomes his buddy, a good friend. Yeah. So why? Because the devotee engages day in and day out in devotional service while in this body, in this realm, and even after leaving the body, the devotee goes back and he serves wherever he is in a better way, in a higher way. That is why death is like the difference between a devotee and non-devotee, how they perceive death is, for a non-devotee, death is like the experience that a rat goes through in the mouth of a cat. But for a devotee, the experience of death is like how a small kitten feels in the mouth of its mother cat. Yeah. So for a rat, cat is like, big terror. When the cat comes, the rat is terrified. When the cat actually catches hold of the rat, the rat is fearful. It's trembling. What is the state of mind of the rat at the time that the cat catches? It's like a death knell. It's horrified. But for a small kitten, which is for whom the cat is a mother, it feels so protected. The cat actually even holds the kitten also with its mouth. But the kitten feels so secure because it's my mom. It will take me to the nice place. Understand this? What is the experience of these two, the rat and the kitten? Exactly, it's the same experience a devotee and a non-devotee undergoes with respect to death. For a devotee, death is like the experience of the kitten. For a non-devotee, it is like the experience of the rat. So Why? So how and why is that the devotee experiences that smooth sail? Because one is totally absorbed in the glorification of the Lord. One is totally absorbed in consciousness of the Supreme Lord. Yeah, in devotion to the Supreme Lord. For such a person, it doesn't matter where one is. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether the person is in hell or in heaven, because he's doing the same. Yeah. There's a beautiful song in the Mukundamala Stotra. Yat Krishna pranipata dhuli dhavanam tadvashma tadvaishiras te netre tamasojite suruchiri yakyam harindrishyate sabuddhir vimalendu shankadhavana madhavadhyayini sajihvamrita varshini pratipadam yastauti narayana. So for a devotee who's, those are, his, that head, that which is offering obeisances to the Supreme Lord, is glorious. Yeah. And te netre tamasojite suruchire yabhyam harim dishite. Those eyes that have seen the Supreme Lord, they have, conquered all the ignorance. Sa buddhir vimalendu shankadhavana yamadhavadhyayini. That is that intelligence which is absorbed, in meditation on Madhava, not Krishna. Yeah, that is as effulgent like conch. Yeah, so beautiful. Sa jihvamrita varshini pratipadam. That is that tongue or mouth rains nectar, that which is always glorifying Lord Narayana. So this is a devotee. Yeah. So we talk about the Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas, the senses, and how these senses are, they are dangerous. Yeah. They are like serpents. They are shameless. This is how scriptures talk about the senses. But these very senses are glorified for a devotee. Why? Because they are used for the glorification of the Lord. And for such a devotee, with every rising and setting of the sun, they are coming one step closer to Krishna. Hence, they have no fear of death. And death is merely, a stepping stone to a higher destination. So that is why this period of Chaturmasya is very, very important. During the Chaitanya Leela, recently we have celebrated the Rath Yatra. So in the Chaitanya Leela, it's so interesting. All the Navadvip Vasis, they came all the way to Puri because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had made his quarters as Puri. So all the Navadvip Vasis came to Jagannath Puri for the Rath Yatra festival. And after the celebration of the Rath Yatra festival, which we all have recently celebrated, they stayed back for the entire period of Chaturmasya. They didn't go back to Navadvip. Yeah. So why this Chaturmasya period is that period, which is actually the rainy season, where all the devotees of the Lord, amplify their bhakti, their practices. Yeah, because the Chaturmasya period as such is very potent. If you see even in the scriptures in the Srimad Bhagavatam, when Narada Muni was talking to Vyasadeva, he was telling about his story as a child. Yeah, so as a child, he received the mercy from the Bhakti Vedantas by serving them during the Chaturmasya period. Yeah, he rendered menial service to them, and he attained great, immense spiritual benefit in their association by serving them, in various ways, and also by taking their remnants. So this Chaturmasya period is very potent. Whatever service we perform is returned by millions of times. Yeah. So, and also, as I said, in the Chaitanya Leela, we see all the Navadvip Vasis, they come to Puri and they spend the entire Chaturmasya period until the end of Kartik in Jagannath Puri, simply every day singing and chanting the glories of the Lord. That's it. They all had their own occupational duties. They all had their own jobs. But they knew what is their priority. Yeah. So for us to attend Yatra for a period of 1 week or 10 days we think so much. Yeah, should I go? Should I not go? How do I apply for the leave? Or, what will happen if I miss these classes or these exams? So many things. This is what is, prioritizing. The one who prioritizes bhakti over everything. 10 days is nothing. Just like the Navadvip Vasis, they just spent 4 months. Just like that, they didn't return back home. So our scriptures speak about the glory of the Chaturmasya period. And also Chaturmasya period is that time during which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has resided at Srirangam at the place of Venkata Bhatt. Yeah, basically Chaturmasya period is that period where the great devotees of the Lord, they are stationed at one place. They don't prefer to move to different places. Yeah, they take Kshetra Sannyas, be at one place and perform their bhajana. Yeah. So Chaturmasya period is a period of this 4 months, which is Shravana, Bhadrapada, Ashwin or Ashvayuja and Kartik Mas. So these 4 months together constitute what is called the Chaturmasya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that had stayed back at the place of Venkata Bhatt in Srirangam. And just imagine the Supreme Lord coming and staying at your home for 4 months. What kind of a great fortune that is. Actually, if you go to Srirangam now, that place is still existing where Mahaprabhu has stayed. And in his hand-carved deities of Lord Jagannath, even we can have the darshan of those deities. And those deities that were the deities of Lord Narsingadev that were worshipped by Mahaprabhu when he was at the place of Venkata Bhatt, that was also there. So very, very beautiful place. If you ever go to Srirangam, you should visit this place. It's very beautiful. And also there are the descendants of Venkata Bhatt who are still there. Yeah, if you go with this tilak and you go to that place, they'll be very happy to take you and show you the place. Very wonderful, very great souls. And actually, it is from that family. We have our Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who later actually joined the Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami in Vrindavan and was instrumental in writing many Gaudiya Vaishnava literature after having received his Diksha. And his uncle is also Prabodhananda Saraswati, who is a prominent Acharya in the Gaudiya Vaishnava discipline. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has spent his Chaturmasya time in Srirangam and speaking so much of Krishna Katha. And this Chaitanya Charitamrita describes beautiful conversation between Mahaprabhu and Venkata Bhatt and how he spent time by, accepting the invitations of different devotees around the place and enlightening everyone in Krishna Bhavana. So as devotees, how should we observe this Chaturmasya period? Now coming to that topic. So Chaturmasya, such as I said, it is 4 months. The idea or the underlying concept, the essence is that one should observe this period with the feeling, with the understanding that one should invest more time in spiritual activities and decrease the bodily necessities or bodily comforts or demands. So we understand from the Bhagavad Gita that the ultimate goal is achieved through the process of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means it's the process of mercy. And how is mercy received? Mercy is received only when we come out of our comfort zone. And that is what exactly is the whole theory. Yeah. And if you see, there are many indications about what is to be done and what is not to be done in the Chaturmasya period, from yamas and niyamas. Yeah, there are some restrictions that, there are some austerities one can observe, like sleeping on the floor. Yeah. And one restrains from different food items in different periods. Yeah. In the month of Shravana, one restrains from shak, that is green leafy vegetables. There's also scientific reason why certain food items are to be prohibited during these periods. Yeah, Shravana. Then Bhadrapada. In the month of Bhadrapada, one avoids yogurt or curd. In the month of Ashwin or Ashvayuja, one avoids milk. And in the month of Kartik, one avoids urad dal, because it's high protein. Masoor dal and urad dal is to be avoided in the month of Kartik. So this is how one follows diet restriction in these 4 months. Yeah, the idea is, one spends more and people take vows. Yeah, like for example, during these 4 months, one makes it a point to at least once visit a dham. Actually, some people live in a dham for these 4 months. They go to either Vrindavan or Mayapur or Jagannath Puri, and these 4 months they just spend in the holy place. Okay, you can plan something like this after retirement. As students, you might not be able to do that. But as such, at home, if you have Tulasi, it is, your home is actually a dham. Yeah, so every day, please take care of Tulasi Maharani, worship her, offer aarti to her, or, circumambulate her, and, touch her by being yourself pure. This in itself is a great act of devotion. Yeah. And that makes your place a holy dham. Wherever Tulsi Maharani is worshipped, that place is a holy dham. That is dhamvas. Okay, so people also, make it a point to live in a dham or visit some holy place at least once. Do some yatra. Or and some devotees also, either one is dhamvas, bathing in some holy river. Yeah, take a holy bath in river Ganga, Mother Ganga, Yamuna, or Kaveri, whatever is possible. At least one holy bath in whichever possible close by river that you have. Yeah. So all these things eradicate all the sinful propensities. Yeah, all the sins that we have performed are eradicated. And there are 8 Ekadashis that come during this period. All these 8 Ekadashis are to be followed, observed very, very carefully. Ekadashis are called Madhava Tithi or also Bhakti Janani. Madhava Tithi it's a Tithi or day that is very dear to Madhava, Lord Krishna. And they are also called Bhakti Janani. That means they're so potent, they can give rise to devotion. They are the mothers of devotion. So following Chaturmasya is one thing, and also following the Ekadashis that come in the Chaturmasya period. Yeah, that's also very, very powerful. A potent and acceleration to your devotional life actually comes by observing these tithis in a very conscious way, in a devotional attitude, with a careful observation. So, yeah, what I said, first thing is dhamvas, second is bathing in the holy river, and also one should give in charity. It is nice if one can give in charity during this time to the Brahmanas, to a spiritual cause. Yeah, donation is very good, and especially in Bhadra Purnima. The Bhadra Purnima, it is very auspicious to give Srimad Bhagavatam to your near and dear ones, or you can even buy Srimad Bhagavatam for Bhadra Purnima. Yeah, immense benefits during that time. So one renders charity in whatever little way they can. Yeah. And as I said, they observe celibacy. And of course, that is for grihasthas and brahmacharis. And basically, the idea is to maintain a pure state of consciousness, to maintain a pure state of mind, so that pure mind enables us to glorify the Lord, either through our chanting or through our hearing or through our speech. Yeah. So, one who is pure in habits is pure in mind, and one who is pure in mind, can chant the holy name with focus. So, what is being pure in habits? Pure in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So what is being pure in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending? Pure in eating is accepting only prasadam. Yeah, the mouth should open only for prasadam. That which is offered to the Lord, that is pure in eating. And especially food that is sattvic. And that which is offered to the Lord with devotion. That is pure in eating. Then pure in sleeping. Yeah, sleep is an important part of yoga. Yeah. Yuktahara viharasya yukta chetasa karmasu. Ahara vihara. Yukta swapnava bodhasya. Yeah. Yoga bhavati dukkha. So that is part of yoga is, yogi means one who does not eat too much or too little. One who does not sleep too much or too little. So sleep is also an important aspect, and one should be pure in sleeping. So what does that mean? So these days, randomly we ask, some people, how many of you have a satisfactory sleep? That means you wake up and feel that, I'm satisfied. Just like after eating now, and you finish, you feel satisfied, satiated, right? So after waking up from your sleep, how many of you feel satiated? Can you imagine? Nobody raised their hand. Yeah. So I'm in the institute where I am doing my PhD, the IIT. The hot topic of research is sleep. Yeah, that's the hottest topic now. Everybody wants to research on sleep. So why is it that we cannot sleep? I mean, even why is that we do not? If you're waking up and you're feeling that oh, I haven't slept enough, that means you have not completed your sleep. And that affects your health, that affects your focus and concentration also on your either japa or your spiritual practices. Yeah. So insomnia is one of the most common problems of the modern day world. So why is it? It is because of excessive attachment to things. So this is just like you have a laptop, right? And you leave everything, all the windows open. Yeah, then you don't close the windows and you just shut the laptop down. The laptop crashes. It doesn't function for long, right? Similarly, we have so many windows open in our mind. Yeah, my job, one window. My future, one more window. My relationships, another window. So we open so many windows and we don't close them. So just like, the laptop keeps running and running and running, the next morning it's hot to touch because we haven't shut it down properly. Similarly, our mind, with all these windows open, we go to sleep. We hardly sink into that state of deep sleep. Yeah, there is a state called NREM, non-rapid eye movement. That is a state of deep sleep. So only when a person enters into that deep sleep, the body's repair system starts actually functioning effectively. The body detoxifies, the body repairs. Yeah. But if all these windows are open, no, you're not going into deep sleep. And that is why when you wake up, you feel a little tired, you feel exhausted, you're not fresh. And so without that, and you wake up and you begin your day, you're not so productive, you're not so attentive. Yes. So sleep is an important aspect. So one should be pure in eating, pure in sleeping, pure in mating. Pure in mating this is like after marriage, one should have the connection only with one spouse. And pure in defending. Pure in defending, Prabhuji says that one should be good at one's occupational duty. Yeah. So this is what it's called, pure habits. So one who is pure in these habits is pure in the mind. Yeah. So it is a scientific, methodology of developing purity of mind. Yeah. When does one develop purity of mind? When one develops purity of habits of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. And so one who has pure mind, that mind is very fertile. Sa buddhir vimalendu shankadavada ya madhava dhyani. Such mind is fertile to actually absorb in glorifying the Supreme Lord. It is attentive in hearing the glories of the Lord. So many times we sit for a class, but hardly anything moves in. Yeah, and we get distracted, deviated, and we are inattentive. We are unable to attentively hear. Lack of attention. Why? It is because of these four things. not being pure in mind. Why not being pure in mind? Because we are not pure in our habits. One is related to the next. So such a mind which is pure, it immediately absorbs, just like a sponge that is put in the water, immediately absorbs all the water. A pure mind, when it comes in contact with the transcendental sound vibration of the holy name or the glories of the Lord that is uttered by the pure devotees of Lord Krishna, such a message immediately sinks in to the consciousness and it absorbs just like the sponge absorbs the water. And to cultivate such a mind is a responsibility of a sincere sadhaka. And this Chaturmasya period, whatever vrata you're observing, is ultimately to develop that pure mind which is conducive to glorify the Supreme Lord, that is conducive to hold, meditate on the Supreme Lord, to do the Navavidha Bhakti of the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So the Vrata Palan of, either living in Dham or, observing, sleeping without a mat, this is all, basically the idea is to slightly come out of your comfort zone and make spiritual life your priority. This is the whole idea behind, and to make the mind conducive for spiritual practice. So this is a Chaturmasya Vrat in brief. And actually, so all this, so people think that, these people are, torturing themselves. Why should they do it? There is one person, a journalist, he was speaking to Srila Prabhupada. He asked one straight question, very bomb-like question he asked. He came and asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you're doing so much. What if at the end of life, you realize that there is no Krishna? Then, you have missed everything, no fun, you deprive yourself of all the enjoyment. What would you do? Prabhupada gave such a logical answer, it was astounding. Prabhupada said, he smiled and he said, okay, fine. So I do all these practices and at the end of life, if there is no Krishna, even then I don't regret because I have enjoyed my life so much. Just by, bhakti is what? Kevala Ananda Kanda. This is what Mahaprabhu says. Bhakti means Kevala Ananda Kanda. It's just a joyous process. What do we do? It's so ecstatic actually early morning to go, and chant and attending the Mangalarti, observing the beautiful forms of Radha and Krishna. And then, chanting his holy names in the association of devotees. Actually, in Pune we used to say, our party begins every morning 4:30. It's a Mangalarti time. And it's so ecstatic, you feel so energetic. And with all the devotees, when you come, you sing, you dance, and observing the beautiful arti offered to the beautiful deities. So amazing an experience. And I can say in my own experience, in my own life, the best of the holidays, that is to Tirtha Yatras, the best of the food that I had, the best of the people I met, and with whom I have interacted and associated and made friends, are all after I have come to Krishna consciousness. There's no comparison to this, the joy and the happiness that we feel by practicing bhakti as compared to what it was. See, people, whoever are so addicted to screen, do you see them happy? They're just there because, there is nothing else to do. They're so miserable. If you actually if you see their faces sometimes who are like totally absorbed in the screen, it's sunken. There's no pleasure actually in that. They do that because there's no other option. They're called couch potatoes. Passively making yourself, attached to getting yourself attached to the screen. What joy is there in that? But you see the process of bhakti, especially in the Chaturmasya period, so many wonderful festivals. in the Shravan Mas, we have it's starting from the appearance day of Balram. Yeah, and we have the 5 days swing festival of Radha Krishna, the Julan Yatra. Yeah, and we have the amazing Janmashtami after the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada. Oh my God, what events in the Chaturmasya period. And then in the Bhadra Padmas, we have the appearance day of Srimati Radharani, we have appearance day of Sita Thakurani, we have appearance day of Lalita Sakhi, the Lalita Sashti, we have Radhashtami, the appearance day of different Sakhis. Oh, the disappearance day of Srila Haridas Thakur, so many. Yeah, the Vaman Dvadashi, all these come in Bhadrapada Mas. Yeah, and then in Kartik is like, it's out of the world only. It's the spiritual bonanza period. Starts with Sharad Purnima. And whatnot. You have the Govardhan Puja, you have the Gopashtami, you have the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada, and Sri Krishna Sharadiya Rasayatra. It ends with that. And after that, the Bhishma Pancham. It's like so much, and it's so juicy, so amazing. It's a juice for the body, mind, and soul, if you really observe in the right spirit. Yeah. So much and so amazing, the whole process of bhakti and devotion is. So coming back, then Prabhupada said, so what? I have, even if there is no Krishna at the end of my life, and I still don't regret, because I have enjoyed my life to the fullest by practicing bhakti yoga. And Prabhupada looked into his eyes and said, but now you tell me, what if you lead your life doing sense gratification, and at the time of death, you understand that there is Krishna? What about you? That person was like, you're thoroughly shaken from within. Yeah, he understood what Prabhupada was saying. So this is how, one understands, one who understands the purpose and the goal of life and serious about bhakti, and, intelligently utilizes, especially, these are the brownie points. Sometimes when you play a video game, there are some brownie points, like you click on that, you get a lot of points, right? A lot of money or jackpot or a treasure. So this Chaturmasya period is like that. It's like the brownie point in your devotional journey. Tap into it and you get so much mercy. So and I wish and pray all of to the Guru Parampara and to Sri Radha and Krishna. May all of you observe this Chaturmas with sincerity, dedication, and taking suitable vows, not just of the food, diet restriction, and as I said about dham vastu, there are some things, but the bottom line is, it will be nice if some of the devotees actually take a vow of chanting extra rounds to whatever prescribed number of rounds you're chanting. Beyond that, if you can chant some more rounds, then just like as I said, whatever is time bound is it's material. So 16 rounds is what you have fixed yourself. So daily, as a matter of a vow, you chant your 16 rounds. But all the rounds that you chant extra, which is not actually a vow that you have taken, but you're just chanting it extra. It's like that's your entry into timeless zone. Yeah. So chant some extra rounds, more than what you're actually chanting right now. And read some sections of Bhagavatam, like you can choose, can be prayers of Queen Kunti or Bhishma Stuti, or the prayers of Akrura, or the Rudra Gita, or the Gopi Gita, or Venu Gita, or Brahmana Gita. There's so much such, Bhagavatam is full of nectar. I mean, if you're in our Bhakti Lata care, we keep posting these prayers. So every day, consciously recite one prayer in front of your deities and reading the translation. Yeah, recite the prayer, read the translation. And if you fall in love with some verse, memorize it. Yeah, memorizing verses is something that, beautifies your entire perceptual space. Your whole consciousness that is filled with so many unnecessary thoughts, just by the process of memorizing some wonderful verses, it becomes so beautifying. Try that. Yeah. any verses that you like this page. So these are sections of Bhagavatam that you may read. Yeah, regularly on a daily basis, you make a timetable so that you finish some sections of Bhagavatam or finish some books of Prabhupada. It can be Gita, especially Purushottam Mass is coming. In the month of Purushottam Mass, every day there's recitation of 15th chapter. So you can take you can actually by heart the entire 15th chapter. Yeah. So actually we will have another session about the glories of Adhik Mas, because this year we have Adhik Mas or Purushottam Mas that is going to come. During that we will have another session, and we will have another session on the glories of month of Kartik. Okay, so this is how we will periodically try to understand and absorb ourselves deeper in giving priority to our devotional lives. Okay, so in summary, what is to be done in the during the Chaturmasya Vrat? Visiting a holy dham. Second is taking a holy bath, giving in charity, and reduce comforts, come out of the comfort zone and do any austerities like sleeping on the floor or anything. I mean, it depends on. See, if it doesn't suit you, then do not do it in such a way that it will affect your health and your sadhana is going to go for a toss. Okay, one need to be austere, but one needs to be practical also. So you should not come out of the balance. You should know what suits your body and mind. At the end of the day, the outcome should be your sadhana should be enhanced. Chant some extra rounds, read books of Srila Prabhupada, hear more Shravanam, and that's the best process. And read some selected sections of Bhagavatam and observe the days of Ekadashi with great care and attention. So there are devotees in our own ISKCON who on every Ekadashi day, they chant, more than, one night, they chant about 192 rounds. You know how they start? They start on Dashami, the sunset of Dashami, they start and they chant until the sunset of Ekadashi. Can you believe? We hear of Srila Haridas Thakur, chanting 192 rounds every day, 3 lakhs holy names. We think, oh, Mataji, but that was 500 years ago. They're all just characters in the scriptures. No, even today, there are devotees who actually practice this. We have devotees in our movement who chant 192 rounds every Ekadashi. So it's about, prioritizing spiritual life over everything. So I hope this understanding helps us in some way to prioritize our spiritual life and accelerate our practices during this 4-month period, and thereby bringing ourselves immense benefit. Okay, thank you all very much. I'll end here. Any questions? Anybody has any questions? Hari Bol, Prayasi, Dandavat. Anybody has any questions? We will end the session. Okay, Chaturmasya has started from today. So Prayasi is asking the question. So as I said, some devotees observe it from Ekadashi to Ekadashi. Like today is a Shayana Ekadashi or Ashadi Ekadashi. Yeah. So and from Shayana Ekadashi to Utthana Ekadashi, some devotees follow this as the Chaturmasya period. Some devotees observe Chaturmasya as from full moon to full moon. That is the Paurnima. That is going to come after 4 days. Yeah, from that Purnima to Kartik Purnima. So this 2 periods can be. Which should we follow? We can follow anything. Yeah. Some devotees follow this, some follow that. You can follow it. In fact, you can follow both, starting from this Ekadashi to the Purnima. Totally. Yeah. Actually, yeah, in fact, if you see the solar and lunar calendar, there is some discrepancy, like especially you see a difference of 15 days. Like in South India, we observe Kartik Mas from Deepavali day to the next Amavasya, that is Amavasya to Amavasya. But in Gaudiya Vaishnava calendar, the Kartik Mas is observed from full moon to full moon. Yeah. So here so Damodarashtakam is offered during the entire period of Kartik, right? So here where I stay in the township, here they observe Damodara month, or they offer Damodarashtakam prayers for 45 days. That is starting from full moon to complete the full moon and the next 15 days also. So if you want to practice devotion, actually Kirtaniya Sadahari. You don't need a tithi to actually glorify Krishna. Yeah, so it can go on anytime. Okay. Yeah, somebody had more questions. Can we pluck tulasi in the evening? After sunset, no. Yeah, it should be before sunset. Okay. Okay, great. Fine. So I wish you all a very happy and a very, spiritually saturated Chaturmasya. Okay, all the best. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. Thank you, Shri. Hari Bol. Thank you so much. Yes, you can stop the recording.